What's going on, everybody? It's Sacred Eagle. The Eagles have just announced their initial 53-man roster, and I'm pretty curious because I thought I would have to wait until tomorrow to make this video. We're going to break it down right now. So, your three quarterbacks, and yes, three quarterbacks, are Jalen Hurts, Marcus Mariota, and the rookie sensation, Tanner McKee. Why did I say McGee? McKee. I mean, we all know how we feel about Marcus Mariota. He underperformed both in training camp and in preseason game especially, which was really surprising. We didn't see anything from Jalen Hurts, obviously, and I'm not really surprised about that, so I'm not too upset about it. But, I mean, hey, you get what you get, and Mariota, if, God forbid, Hurts gets knocked out for a game with an injury, he can come in and just game manage, you know? You got four really good running backs that can carry the load. And speaking of, Kenny Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, and Boston Scott. Exactly what we expected. They said goodbye to Trey Sermon today, which is kind of sad, but let's face it, these are the four best right here. And I mean, just Kenny Gainwell and DeAndre Swift alone is very, very dangerous because they can both catch the ball out of the backfield so well. You throw in Rashad Penny, who's a little bit more of a power back, but even DeAndre Swift can run you over, and Kenny Gainwell, and Boston Scott, despite the size differences between the four. So, pretty good. I'm very happy with that. Those four are going to be a very deadly mixture of running back. I mean, it's just a good situation to have, as opposed to spending a crap ton of money. Even if the player deserves it, spending a crap ton of money on one running back that, unfortunately, it is the truth that running backs do take a lot of damage and aren't as durable as other positions. I'm not saying they don't deserve their money. Like, I know after this season, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Kenny Gainwell probably are going to be looking for new contracts. So it'll be interesting, but that's in the future. Moving on to wide receiver, which is interesting. We only have four as of right now. We have Brown, Smith, Quez Watkins, and that guy from the Falcons. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I'm not going to. Well, you know who I'm talking about. These four, I'm kind of surprised there's no one else. Devin Allen got cut today, which people were not too pleased with. And then Britton Covey, who everyone thought we were keeping over him, got cut as well. I'm very surprised. And then you got Greg Ward, unfortunately, got cut. He's most likely going to be back on the practice squad, like always. And Joseph Nagata. So those three are most likely going to be put on the practice squad, yeah. But these four, I'm okay with it. I'm just surprised. I feel like, though, we did trade for a tight end, which, again, another weird name, Albert O. I'm not going to pronounce that last name. I'm not going to try to because I'll butcher it. That's exactly why I'm not pronouncing these names. Him along with Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stoll, and Dallas Goedert. Those are the four tight ends. So we're banking on tight ends being a heavy part of this offense, which is fine by me. I would love to see more double and triple tight end sets that help emphasize play action passes that can open the field up for any of these guys, including Goddard, to be wide open, to make bigger, better plays and things easier for Jalen Hurts as well. So I'm cool with it. Dan Arnold and Tyree Jackson and Brady Russell all got cut today, or this week, I should say, to slim up to this roster situation we got here. The offensive line is exactly what we expected it to be, though I think there's one person that I'm kind of surprised about. Let's just go down the line. Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Cam Jurgens, and Lane Johnson. Those are your starters. No surprise there. Tyler Steen, Jack Driscoll, thank God you're still here. Fred Jackson, and then what I'm most surprised about, Sua Opeta. I know he struggled a pretty good amount in his time in Philly. Didn't look too great. Some of these guys didn't look too great in preseason action, so they're clearly backups. And again, God forbid anything happens, but hopefully they can just step right in and do their job. That's all we ask of them. Defensive tackle, we got 7 of them. Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Martin Tipolodu. Yeah, that sounds right. Tipolodu. Something like that. Or Tuipulotu. Moro Ojomo, and Cantavis Street. Those are our 7. Pretty solid all around. Good depth. And obviously you're going to have, it's going to be a rotation, as it always is. You got Milton Williams and Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter especially, probably going to be the most prominent. Fletcher Cox is always going to be there, doing his thing. You know how it goes. Edge rusher. Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat. Good old Sweat. Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Derek Barnett, unless if he gets traded, and Patrick Johnson. I'm kind of surprised Johnson made it, but I guess it makes sense given the talks of Derek Barnett wanting to have a bigger role and or get traded. I'm sorry, man, but you're stupid. You are very stupid. Literally, all you do, you make some good plays every now and then, but you most of the time commit penalties, especially personal foul penalties and offside penalties, and you're hurt a lot. And you want more time. You want more play time when we have players like Reddick and Sweat and Graham and even Nolan Smith, who we haven't seen enough of yet, that are probably going to outperform you, hence why you're so far down on the roster, on the depth chart. Linebacker, this is a place where I'm a little concerned about. Kobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, and Christian Elias. I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but I don't know. I wish we had some more veteran presence because I don't think Dean is going to be bad. I think he's the best of the bunch, but Cunningham and Ellis, I'm a little concerned about. Just a little concerned about them. But, hey, we'll see what happens. Corners. This is the place where I feel we're pretty darn good at right now. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Avonte Maddox, Josh Jobe, Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, and Mario Goodrich. Fine. Totally fine with everything there. Got good depth. Nothing that's going to, blow your mind or be spectacular, but that core trio of Slay, Bradbury, and Maddox, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that at all. And then safety. You got Reed Blankenship, which is the best that we got. He's good. I'm fine with it. Justin Evans, Sidney Brown, and Terrell Edmonds. The best of the bunch right there as far as what we have. That's another area of concern. Maybe a trade for a Budda Baker or somebody else out there would be something to look into. We'll see how that goes. I just Reed Blankenship. Everybody else is a question mark for me personally. But I'm more concerned with linebacker than I am safety. Until I see the safeties be an issue, Reed Blankenship can play. We know that for a fact. It's just the other 3 unknown. We got to figure that out. And then your specialists, Jake Elliott and Rick Lovato. The Eagles cut Aaron Siposs and are now looking to replace him. And Siposs improved in 2022, but he was still consistent. Even though he outlasted Ty Zettner in camp, the Eagles decided to cut him on Tuesday. The other 2 were roster locks, obviously. So, yeah, the biggest question marks. Overall, it's a good roster. Let me know in your comments what you think about it. It's nothing crazy, nothing amazing. What am I kidding? There's talent everywhere, and that's the beauty of it. That's why we look at this team with a lot of expectation after the year that we just had. Even with losing some pieces, we drafted some studs, and we have a lot of young talent. I kind of wish there was a little bit more veteran leadership in the linebacker secondary area outside of Reddick, because then your corners are the veterans, but you have no one in safety that are vets. But we'll see how that goes. The only areas that I'm question marking a lot, obviously punter, we don't have one. Who is going to be our kick return and punt return guy? It's going to be Boston Scott. Is it going to be, Quez Watkins? Or is it going to be somebody on the defensive side on special teams? Who is the guy that's going to return punts especially? Kickoffs, I feel like Boston Scott's kind of a lock there. Especially if he doesn't see much playing time outside of, little rotations depending on the matchup and things like that. Who else is there to return punts? I don't know. I do not know. Outside of that, who else are we going to add to the wide receiver room? I feel like 4 is not enough, even if we have 4 tight ends that are probably going to be thrown out there as well in whatever packages we decide to use offensively. But I think the biggest thing that this proves is that this team is going to be very heavily, at least it's going to continue to be very heavily favored to run the football more than pass, which is okay. That's nothing wrong with that. I know this is a passing league, but Jalen Hurts has proven that he can. And I believe that he can continue to not only do enough, but exceed expectations and get better as a passer. And that's what he did last year. That's what I think he's going to do this year. You still have the main three that he succeeded with the most, especially with Smith and Brown. You still got Watkins, who still needs to prove himself with those butterfingers that he tends to have. Tuck the ball away, bro. You catch it, put it away, protect it. No need to be running out with the ball everywhere but right here. You got to hold on to the football. Outside of that, you do have a veteran behind him. Outside of that, there's room for more people to join the wide receiver room, I would assume. And in general, I like the roster. There's still some areas of concern: linebacker, corner, punt return, punter, maybe some additional wide receivers. But we got two good backups behind Hurts, given anything can happen. Good to keep that as a precaution. Good running backs, solid wide receiver room, could get more. Good tight end room, great offensive line, great defensive line. It's linebackers and safeties on the defense I'm mainly worried about. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys very, very soon, because the podcast is coming back, daily uploads are coming back, and Eagles football is 2 weeks away. Football in general is about to be 2 weeks away. Cannot wait anymore. Actually, take that back, 1 week away. We're almost there for Thursday Night Football, Lions and Chiefs. A little less than 2 weeks. We're almost there. I'll see you all later.